What's up, chicken butts? Welcome to another sweaty episode of Trojan Arcade. We're almost halfway through October, the highs are still in the 80s, and both ends of California are on fire. Everything's fine. It's fine. My assassination attempt on Matthew failed, but he hasn't recovered enough yet, so executive producer Sam Shipp will be filling Carreri's seat this week. He'll do the news and probably f*** it up. Then we'll take you on a play-by-play of IndieCade so you can pretend you were there too. We'll be reviewing the Battlefront 2 beta with the ghost of Jesse lingering over our shoulder, and finally discuss this book that I hid so perfectly back here. Haha. 101 video games to play before you grow up. Time for the boys to make fun of me for not getting my hands on video games for the first decade of my life. Sexism, racism, brokeism, the whole 9 yards. Let's cut to the news desk so I can check my Twitter.
I'm Sam Shipp.
And I'm Matt Linton.
And this is your week in video game news.
Anyone remember E3 from this past year? Neither do I. Counting the amount of hair follicles on your chest is more entertaining than that dumpster fire. Perhaps the only interesting moment at E3 was the announcement of Anthem, an upcoming open-world RPG set to release in 2018 from BioWare and EA. Imagine this, a world, a massive, massive, dynamic world where you can explore and complete missions with multiple players. You have exosuits, javelins, amazing weaponry systems, and the ability to go off the beaten path. If I were to describe this game, I would say it's a cross between Halo, Destiny, and Titanfall. Did you just cream your pants? Because I did.
Things got weird when the WWE announced that the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken himself will be a playable character in WWE 2K18. Colonel Sanders was revealed in the commercial featuring Kurt Angle and a spokesperson wearing a chicken suit. Angle begins the commercial announcing that he and Sanders will be playable characters until the chicken person crashes the interview. Then Angle, dressed as Colonel Sanders, walks in and shuts down the spokesperson's complaints about not being in the video game by hitting the spokesperson with his cane. It's kind of dumb, to be honest. The new wrestler can be accessed through the game's Create a Superstar mode.
A new trailer for Wolfenstein 2 has stirred up controversy as critics brought attention to the game's anti-Nazi stance. Yes, you heard that correctly. The anti-Nazi agenda is angering some people. While Wolfenstein players have been killing Nazis for years, the backlash was focused on the game's new marketing tagline, Make America Nazi-Free Again. And although Dr. Jones clearly articulated his stance on this issue by saying, Nazis, I hate these guys, some Americans have still somehow found a way to be angry about the issue. God, what do they teach in this place? Critics believe the tagline compares Trump supporters to Nazis. The newest game in the Wolfenstein series is based on an alternate reality where Nazis conquered Europe and America. Gameplay revolves around killing American Nazis in a second American Revolution. It also supports staggering realism in its depiction of a Nazi-run America. Some of the soldiers of the Third Reich even sport tiki torches.
Bandai Namco announced God Eater 3 on October 9th, revealing little other than the third entry in the ARPG franchise exists and that Earth no longer resembles the home we now know. The title lacks a release date, and Bandai Namco neglected to announce that platforms that God Eater 3 will be released on, but it wants to reassure the public that the game exists and that they did make a trailer for it. The game will have the players fighting baddies, like the Armagi, but Bandai Namco also hints that another nation is coming into focus, and that morality in the series is becoming thinner and more difficult to define. With little else to see except a title trailer featuring a grand total of 3 seconds of gameplay, the public can only speculate on what any of this means.
Take a look at this ad. Those guys are a bunch of Back to you, Alma.
This is 101 video games to play before you grow up, the official must-play video game list for kids. I flicked through it already. I'm going to actually read it because I love these lists. I love the reasons people get, or the reasons people give. I've played nothing. I played nothing my whole life.
Can I take a peek?
Yes, please do.
See, I started with the old Sonic games on
Never
my
played it.
Those
I
are
had
fun.
the handheld Sega Genesis one, like when they transitioned it to like a portable console and just like played in the car, and I was awful.
Really?
I was terrible. I never made it past the first level.
I was pretty good in my childhood. I played Rome Total War a ton. And
What type of child were you?
A vicious, a ruthless one. It's funny because you can get like nicknames in Rome Total War based on if you would like destroy and pillage and kill people.
Or
and I
like
was
a
always,
nice person.
Or nice, so you could be like the merciful. And I was always like Ajax, the ruthless. So that was fun.
I beat that game multiple times, but it takes forever. It takes
Really?
forever. Yeah, it's a really long game, really long campaign,
Yeah.
but it's super fun, and you actually have to like handle money and like currency.
See,
It's
every
pretty
time I
fun.
try that game now, I'll like a spy will get in my midst, and I'll be like
Yeah.
halfway through the
Yeah.
campaign, I'll be just so cocky,
Yep.
and then like all my soldiers will die of poisoning. They'll be like, "Yo, what? A supply was
Yeah.
poisoned," and I'll be like, "Oh, that's."
By the end of the game, all your
Everyone's just
towns are just
gone.
revolting.
Yeah, the beginning of my game career was like educational games on the PC,
Ooh.
and then I
fun.
think like maybe then I ventured into The Sims,
Oh,
and
yeah,
my
Sims
first
are fun.
console was a Game Boy Advance.
Okay, so The Sims, I think that's a big one for a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Because it was just like parents were like, oh, that's okay, you can get that. I remember with my good friend Sean, actually, we played The Sims as children, and we found that you could lock the Sims in a
my
room
gosh.
and just deprive them of
I
fun
had
yourself and
Zoo
everything.
Tycoon, but
That's
I
also
didn't have
good.
Roller Coaster
Did you ever
Tycoon.
let the like
See, Zoo Tycoon,
lions run?
I did let animals loose in Zoo Tycoon. That was my murderous instinct, but I didn't necessarily close off the gates. I just more like,
Oh, that's me.
My saddest moment as a child, and it's gonna sound even sadder. This is my saddest moment, but I would always like set up a new ride in Roller Coaster Tycoon and then leave it, and like go to dinner and like leave it overnight to try to like make a lot of money.
Okay.
And I'd come back and like once I'd had like months doing this on the computer, like building up the park, and the computer had frozen. And it erased the save file.
No.
And I was just staring there at the
No.
screen,
That's
trying
terrible.
to control alt delete and figure out how to fix it.
but I saved over my Kingdom Hearts save.
Oh, God.
I was literally about to finish the game.
Oh,
like I
no.
was about to go into the final boss battle
Mm.
against Anthem, and I like started a new game just because I was like, oh, I'm gonna stick 100% to like this IGN like walkthrough guide, and then I erased over my save.
But I told my mom when I wanted to get a game that was rated M once that M meant mediocre. And she was like, why would they put that on the covering? I'm like, oh, they don't control that. It's actually voted by people who have played the game. So T is terrible, and M is mediocre, and E is excellent. And she was like, oh, okay, I guess you could get a mediocre game.
So how did you
She
explain
returned it back.
E10 plus?
I don't think we ever encountered that issue.
Okay.
That is an oddly specific issue. Like
Yeah.
it never shows up.
Yeah.
E10 plus is basically like PG-13, but then also there's teen. I do like these list books. These list books are very soothing to me because like it gives me a goal to accomplish.
Yeah.
Like I want to get through the 1001 films
Places-
you need to watch before you die, and like
Yeah.
the places you need to visit, like because death is looming. Like I said, both ends of California are on fire. So now this is another like list of books of games I need to play because there's. But it's interesting
here's
because
a
like
question, though.
Angry Birds is on
Do
here.
you go in and you pick a random page and go, that's the one I want to play? Like whenever I got a list book, I'd be like, I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like if I didn't want to play a game, I'd just stop the list.
Yeah.
Because I get mad. I'm like, I don't want to skip it. Like it's the same thing with like sequels to games.
Yeah.
I'll have to start with the first one, even if the first one's complete garbage, just to say I played it.
Have like Crash Bandicoot in there? Or?
Yeah, actually, I flipped past it somewhere, and then like Dr. Mario,
I'll tell
Portal.
you, if you go back and like retry to play all those games from like PlayStation 1 that like you thought were great
Yeah.
as a kid,
They suck.
they're so hard.
They're tough. They're tough.
They're so
They're
hard.
so
Because
hard.
the back then it was like die, respawn, die, respawn. It's like
And the
Cuphead.
only game that's not hard that I still love is the Dexter's Laboratory game.
I never played
God.
that.
See, for me, it was the opposite, where the final boss battle of Kingdom Hearts was like so difficult for me, and then I like did not touch it for a while, and then I went to finish it, and I finished it in like 10 minutes. It was so easy. Same thing with like Pokemon Ruby. Like I was like, I'll never beat the Elite Four, and then I beat it super fast. So basically, when you're a child, everything is a lie, is the conclusion here. IndieCade 2017 was this weekend. I missed it entirely because I'm a horrible person, and also forgot that it was my roommate's birthday weekend, which is part of why I'm a horrible person. But the crew went and had a great time in Little Tokyo. Let's check it out.
Hey guys, this is Christian from Trojan Arcade, and I'm at IndieCade. We're here to check out some independent developers and play some cool indie games. So I'm here with the developers of Fogs, which stands for Physics Dogs.
Physics Dogs.
And how would you describe Fogs to
It's a double-ended dog adventure where you share a body and a controller with your friend.
It's a co-op game where each person controls a dog themselves on the same controller. I've got a chance to see the game, play a little bit here and there. It's really fun, really goofy. How did this come out? How did you guys make this?
Doug, the artist, and I, we wanted to make this game about a noodle character that you could like pull and stretch, and one person would have either end of it, and then completely detached from that, we're coming up with this idea for like a dog sports game. We wanted the players to work together, and we were like, how could we encourage players to work together? And so we were like, why don't we just attach them together physically in the game? And so we did this noodle thing over a weekend, and it felt so good. We were like, yeah, this is super fun.
It's a rarity. It doesn't seem like it's possible to work. It's really well done. It's really well suited for co-op, and I really enjoy the puzzles you guys have created with it. I found that your games are intuitive, and I don't know if that was the case when you were developing it. What was that like?
It certainly took a little while. We iterated a lot on this level and the puzzles in it. And a lot of that was just watching what players did with the character, because it's such a weird character. It's kind of unexpected what people do. And so we tried to like basically implement the things that they tried to do, so it became intuitive. A lot of the puzzles are designed around the cooperative nature of the character. So it just naturally lends itself to those puzzles.
I think you guys did a really good job of utilizing that as well, especially considering each one's working with half the controller. I think it's done superbly well.
Yeah.
What website can we go to then?
Bitmoongames.com.
Awesome. Alright, thank you very much, guys.
We're here with the folks.
Who needs haircuts? You can just put these on.
Yeah, exactly. You should just all be bald.
It makes life easier.
I mean, it would.
Except when you have to like shave it over again.
Yeah, I mean, but like, you wouldn't have to get any hair products.
Sure, you just get razors.
Exactly. So, tell me a little bit about Dream Daddy. What kind of game is it?
Dream Daddy is a dad dating simulator. You play as a hot single dad, and you're looking to score with other hot single dads.
But you also, I'm sorry, you also have to be a good father to your 18-year-old daughter who's about to leave for college. Can you tell us about the origin of this IndieCade? Well, I think the genesis of this game was I'm really fascinated with like personas and furry culture, and I'm really obsessed with dads. So I thought that kind of like the natural progression of like a persona would be a dad persona. And I recently played Hackable Boyfriend, and it all just kind of crumbled into this dad dating sim. And I ended up going to Disneyland with the game's co-creator Vernon Shaw, and we spent the entire day developing the idea and kind of like dad watching in Disneyland, and it was really fun. And like we came up with Damien in front of Disney's Haunted Mansion. So yeah.
What were each of the roles for the project?
I'm the co-creator, co-writer, and art director.
And I was the narrative designer on the game.
How big was the team?
If you were to plot it on like a line graph, it was like basically a straight line of 4 people for a really long time. And then in the last 2 months, maybe, it was a 45-degree angle straight up. Where the last couple of days of the game, we had 10 people in the office at a time, all working.
And that's like not counting all of the artists like internationally who we were working with.
I messed up and discredited them, but
All of the artists are great.
What about your fan base? Is the fan base like a driving force for this? How do you feel about the fan base?
They're great. I'm like very surprised and overwhelmed by them all the time. They're so talented and like enthusiastic, and I'm really glad that we're all united by our desire to kiss dads.
I'm amazed by the diversity of the people who are into the game.
Yeah, really, all walks of life want to kiss dads. It's the universal element of all of our lives.
I haven't told you this yet, but my Lyft driver last night was a fan of the game, and I was just and the range of people that I've met who are super into this concept is really exciting.
Where can they find you? Or this game?
It is on Steam, dreamdaddy.biz is where you can find it. We're on Tumblr and Twitter at DreamDaddyGame. Give us a follow and we'll tweet like dad tips and stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Pleasure.
Hi guys, we are here at IndieCade. This is Jocelyn Kim.
Ivan Tom.
I'm Michelle Pena, and
we're going to talk about their game, Oblige. So why don't you guys explain it real quick?
Yeah, so Oblige is a narrative game. It's set in Hong Kong in 1979. You play as a housewife who has, all these life responsibilities of like household chores and like having to take care of her husband and her kids. So it's kind of about that sacrifice of like being a mother and not being able to please everybody. And we have this unique typing mechanic that you gotta type to do all your chores, and that kind of communicates the difficulties of being an overworked housewife, and also just like what's it like to be bad at a language. Like if English is your second language, if you immigrate, then that's kind of our way of like portraying what that experience is like.
Well, basically it's just letting the players understand life of an immigrant mother. And that's the main goal of this game.
The art style, you did that.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I've actually never done pixel art before, so when this project started, I spent many hours researching online how to do pixel art, as well as like what softwares are good for doing pixel art aside from Photoshop. And so that helped a lot in terms of this project. And then just spend like a lot of time iterating over the art style to get to where it is now.
How did this project start?
So yeah, this is made for a USC class called Intermediate Game Development. It was taught by Peter Brinson and Sean Bouchard when we took it. So basically we got partnered up because I wanted to do programming and he wanted to do art stuff. And we were just talking about what we wanted to do, and Ivan is like really interested in storytelling and games, and we were kind of talking about like his connection to his grandmother and his mother, and my connection to my mother, and like my mother immigrated to America when she was like in her 20s, and then like Ivan was talking about his grandmother's experience as a working class housewife in Hong Kong at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, just kind of constant conversations of us comparing both of our maternal figures' stories and kind of coming closer to that typing mechanic from that.
How many iterations has the game been through?
It's currently released on itch. You can play it for free. You don't have to pay if you go to jocelyn.itch.io. So I'm on Twitter all the time. If you go to Jocelyn Kimchi, that's JOCLYNKIMCHI, you can find all of my other links on my Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I'm on Twitter, but I never check. So, yeah, you can just find my contact information on the itch page. Yeah, I usually just go by email or Facebook. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
The guilt of skipping out is exhausting me, so I'm going to go grab a ginger ale. You should get an apple. They're delicious. We'll be right back.
Let's watch Trojan Vision.
Did you listen to the new Kanye album?
Yeah, but it wasn't very good. It's revolutionary to hip hop. It's amazing. Are you serious? It's totally unoriginal and unintelligent. How is it unoriginal and unintelligent? There are 30 samples.
Welcome back. Did you get an apple? I hope you did. I tell you, do these things for a reason. Let's go ahead and check out part 2 of IndieCade.
Hey Anna, where are we?
Night game!
games! So we gotta find some that whistles?
Yes, something that whistles. That's not me.
Wait, is it full already? No.
No, so when you're ready, you just hit the button and it'll
All right.
and you're just gonna hold it and record.
All right, let's go find something.
people.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
We are playing this game in which we have to find a person that can whistle. Can you whistle?
Yeah, I mean more.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Again.
Actually, yeah.
Nice. Whistle into it, Tom.
I can't pass that up.
EA's here to present a game called Broken Reality. Can you give me a brief description of the game?
It's a first-person adventure puzzler game set in the internet. That's brief.
So it's not online, it's just the setting is the internet.
Yeah, that's right.
That's cool. I was able to take a quick glimpse of it, and it seems like you took a lot of influences from something vaporwave culture, internet culture.
For us, it's very important to portray how our digital lives has been, was, and possibly will be, according to our research or maybe perspective. And all this has a satirical tone. So that it looks vaporwave, it's something that comes naturally. It's not something that we just wanted to, make a vaporwave game. We just wanted to. It adjusts naturally to the, the first, the beginnings of the internet, 0.0, 1.0, and our digital lives.
So was that idea the goal when making the game? Were you guys set out to make this this perspective and put it into game form, or was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everything, honestly, everything came out from the idea of making fun of the internet and the tool of the internet and everything that the people do to,
Right. I think it's only the point is to get famous.
Yeah,
and get the most likes.
The point of Broken Reality is to break the internet, whatever that means. It's very important that if you play the game when it releases sometime.
What platforms do we expect to release?
It will be released on Mac and on PC through Steam. And right now we're in talks with Sony and Microsoft. I cannot confirm releases, but I don't think it will be a problem. And we would love to release it also on Nintendo Switch.
Awesome.
That's personally one of my goals.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much. We can't wait to play it.
No, thank you for having me.
So that was Night Games. This is IndieCade. I'm exhausted. This has been a fun time. I've gotten to meet a ton of cool developers. I've gotten to play amazing weird games. Anna and Michelle were there to help me out. And I'm going to sleep. I'm going to go and sleep. Bye guys, I'll see you napping on the couch. Bye.
Battlefront 2 multiplayer beta just dropped. I'm still obsessively playing Stardew Valley on my brand spankin' new Nintendo Switch, but Linton played it so he could tell me all about it. I use him as my game quality control filter. Let's hear it.
I just finished playing the beta for the new Battlefront game, and boy, am I titillated. Remember in the last Battlefront game when you could play as Wookiees, choose when you wanted to play special heroes or villains, and have epic space battles in a Star Wars game in space? Well, me neither. But in this new Battlefront 2 multiplayer beta, you get all of that and more. I am happy to say that the beta was not only a ton of fun, but it also proved that EA has ears and isn't just listening to the amount of money they make over FIFA coins. They actually listen to their fans. Crazy, right? But anyway, let's get straight into the beta. The first thing to note on the gameplay side of things is that EA and DICE have taken the Battlefront series and put back in the class system, which, in my opinion, was a fantastic decision. You now have 4 different classes to choose from, each with their own special abilities. There's the Assault class, the Heavy class, Officers class, and Specialist class. Here, there are a lot of similarities to the Battlefield series, but in my opinion, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So props to you, EA and DICE. My favorite by far was the Assault class. If you ever find an unsuspecting enemy, you can run up from behind them and use the Assault shotgun ability to take them out in one hit. You can tell the game developers actually took their time working out the mechanics that so clearly failed in their last Battlefront outing, such as the hero pickup. Thankfully, you no longer have to rely on your sheer dumb luck. Instead of running around and spawn like a complete jackass to claim that dumb fucking hero pickup, you now actually have to be skilled if you want to turn into your favorite overly powered hero. You accomplish this by earning points throughout the matches you play and then spending those points to call in special abilities or heroes. You'll usually have to collect between a couple hundred to a couple thousand of them just to play as Darth Maul or Chewbacca. But those points aren't just for special heroes. You can then use them to call in gunships to fuck up your enemies like an AC-130 in Modern Warfare 2, or like the Weinstein Company ramming Harvey right into therapy. Now, let's get into what we originally wanted, space battles. And honestly, in my opinion, it was the best part of the beta. I feel as though they made the mechanics for the flying battles better than in the last game, especially since they are now in space. You can fly around and even destroy the gigantic Star Destroyers that are constantly firing at you. Thank you, DICE. I really appreciate the amount of hard work and time it takes to copy and paste the good mechanics from the 2005 Battlefront 2. Alright, now let's go from the battles in space to the battles on the ground. Don't get me wrong, the gameplay was fun, the shooting mechanics were good, and running around as a droid and a clone was nostalgic, but oh my god, I hate the escort missions. Yes, even the Overwatch escort missions are annoying to me. What's worse is the fact that that's all you could play in the beta. I mean, it's a mechanic that is fun while it lasts, but I have flashbacks to the last Battlefront beta. Do you remember? We all played the escort missions, and were just so excited for all the other content the game had to offer. Then the game came out, and we all discovered that's all the content they had to offer. To tell the truth, the on-the-ground battles are the same as last game. You basically guide a giant ship or defend your base from the other team, and it's almost always unbalanced. Just like before, playing offense is a complete cluster, and you almost always lose. Now, the game itself doesn't play like Battlefield, which it honestly should. In Battlefield, anything can happen. You can take down a chopper with an RPG, you can jump out of a jet, or snipe a guy in a tower and then jump back into your jet. You can't really do these crazy things in Battlefront, which I think is what's restricting the game's potential. I worry that the new Lucasfilm regime is way too concerned about the longevity of the Star Wars IP, so much so that they remove all the crazy fun that makes multiplayer video games great. After I stopped playing the beta, I did want to jump back in and keep playing, so that's a pretty good sign. Overall, this beta was extremely fun to try out, but I do have a concern. Hopefully, the full release is more than just the beta. If they do this, then it may turn out to be a very long-lasting first-person shooter. If not, and if the beta is basically 90% of the game, then we're probably going to have a repeat with the first Battlefront. Bland. Fingers are crossed.
Thank you for joining us for another great episode of Trojan Arcade. Have you gotten your flu shot? Because if you don't, you can't come to my mom's place for Thanksgiving, and that'll be a huge bummer because she's like so excited to see you. So get that taken care of. I'm Alma Carranza. That's Matt Linton. That's Sam Ship. That's a speck of dust. And this was Trojan Arcade, and we'll be back next week.
You're watching Trojan Vision. For more of your favorite shows, check us out at trojanvision.com and like us on Facebook.